I'm very quickly going to describe how this guide is set up. The video is split into chapters, you can find them down below. The first chapter will describe the boss fight mechanics and each of the important abilities, and the second chapter will be role-specific duties. LFR and normal are practically identical, but I will make a note on any differing areas. The Plexus Sentinel. This is a single-phase fight with a brief intermission when the boss reaches 100 energy. The main goal in Phase 1 is to manage a soak and drop a debuff to the edge of the room. The intermission requires the raid to chase after the boss while avoiding a bunch of traps and a wall of death. I'm really quickly going to cover the room layout here. The boss room is made up of chambers. The raid starts in Chamber 1, and if you look behind the boss, you'll see an electrified wall. When the boss reaches 100 energy, he teleports into the next chamber and activates this wall, causing it to move towards the entrance. You have to use your extra action button to phase through this wall, otherwise it kills you, but each activation unlocks the next chamber, giving the raid more room to work with. There are 6 total chambers, and if you reach the last chamber, the boss will enrage, basically wiping the group. Phase 1. The tanks want to position the boss near the center of the room, and the raid should stay loosely grouped up around him. Eradicating Salvo will mark a random raid member with a soak circle, so everyone else should be ready to jump inside to help split up the damage. Manifest Matrices will put a ring around a few players, and these players need to quickly run to the far left or far right side of the room. Once this expires, it drops a matrix on the ground, which will deal damage, stun, and teleport anybody that touches it. Even if you run through these do remain active until the intermission, so there's no way to clear them. The tank mechanic is called Obliteration Cannon. This is a 6-second cast ability, so once he targets you, you need to run to the entrance on the far left or far right side of the room. Once this goes off, it leaves a big puddle on the ground. This ability also does a burst of raid damage, but that damage decreases the further away the tank is from the boss. Tanks are going to want to swap after each use. Phase 1's abilities: Eradicating Salvo. A player is targeted with a large soak circle. Deals heavy damage, but it is split amongst those that help soak. Manifest Matrices targets random players with a 6-second debuff. When it expires, it drops a matrix on the ground that deals damage, stuns, and teleports players that hit it. Powered Automation. This randomly hits a player and then arcs up to the next 5 closest players. The Obliteration Cannon. This is the Tank Buster. It is a 6-second cast that once launched deals heavy arcane damage to the tank and leaves behind a large ground effect. This also deals a burst of raid damage, but the damage decreases the further away the tank is. Applies a 1000% damage increase for the next Arcano Cannon for 45 seconds. The Intermission. Once the boss reaches 100 energy, he will begin to purge the chamber. He will push the raid backwards, so be aware of your positioning so that you're not getting knocked into any of the ground effects. The boss will then teleport to the next chamber and start channeling Purging Lightning. This will deal pulsing raid damage, and that damage increases the longer it's channeled. The raid will need to run to the next chamber to reach the boss and break his shield in order to stop this channel. While running, there will be multiple bubbles and rotating beams that you have to avoid. The beams hurt, and the bubbles will knock you backwards. Finally, the last thing to be aware of is a giant wall that is moving towards you. If you get hit by this, you are dead. So to survive this, you'll need to use your extra action button, and it allows you to phase through this wall. Press it once the wall is close. Reach the boss, break a shield, and Phase 1 will resume. The Intermission's abilities: Protocol Purge. This is the transition into the intermission. The boss pushes the raid backwards, gets a shield, teleports to a new chamber, activates a bunch of traps, plus the giant wall of death, and channels increasing raid damage until he's stopped. The Atomizer is the moving wall of death that will one-shot you. Phase Blink is triggered with your special action button. This reduces damage from the Atomizer by 99%. Role-specific duties. Tanks, keep the boss centered in the chamber. Run to the far wall when you're targeted with the Obliteration Arcano Cannon and swap after each use. Healers, expect a big burst of damage on the Eradicating Salvo soak group. Expect a big burst of raid damage when the Arcano Cannon goes off. And during the intermission, expect constantly pulsing raid damage that ramps the longer the phase lasts. DPS. If you have Manifest Matrices, move to the edge of the room to drop your matrix. Make sure you're helping to soak the Eradicating Salvo. And during the intermission, use any movement abilities to quickly reach the boss and break his shield. And that's it! Shout out to these channel members. If this video helped them, press the thumbs up. Subscribe if you enjoyed WoW content. Become a channel member for 99 cents a month. It gives you early ad-free access to all my videos. Also check out my Prefessional merch. I'll see you in the next one.